Imagine this. It's like 1840 something, 1850 something, 1853, 1855, anywhere around there. Right? You're in Dodge City, Kansas. You're thinking about going west to California. Right? And the train only goes so far. The train only goes, over the mountains into Colorado and that way up to Oregon. Right? Or it goes, your other choice is the wagon train. Right? You know what I'm saying? But there ain't too many roads, wagon trains and roads and stuff to go through. So, you know what I'm saying? You can only go so far down the wagon train road before, you know what I'm saying, you got to peel off and go this way or that way. And then, right? You find your final destination. Well, back in the early 1850s, when they were doing the railroad survey, right, bringing the railroad through the Southern Pacific, right, and all that other stuff, right, the Southern Cavalry actually had a fort posted over there on the other side of Holbrook in a little town called Houck. Back in the day, in the 60s, right, they made a TV show there called F Troop. But anyway, it was originally established by Lieutenant Abel Whipple, from my understanding, from all the research that I've done or tried to do, or any information I could find, right? And Lieutenant Whipple was the guy that was in charge of doing the railroad survey. Right, well, and then there was another lieutenant, a dude named Beale, who actually, this road is named after. See, this is part of the old Beale Wagon Road right here. And way down there is the historical marker that marks the crossroads between the north, south, east, west part of the road. Well, anyways, these guys, everybody's seen the movie Dances with Wolves, old Costner. Now, these guys were kind of like that. And so they had their little squad, their little troop in the fort. Then they used to go out here and patrol. You gotta remember, back then, this was wild Indian country, right? And so some of these roads, some of these roads that these 7th Cavalry officers and their men, right, established, were some of the wagon train roads that came through here in the west, in the northern part of Arizona, right? Well, the historical marker that's down here, right, marks the spot, where, a couple of these wagon train roads intersected. That's another part of the history of Winslow, right? This little spot, this little town, right, has been here that long. It wasn't incorporated into a city or a little town until 1881. You know what I'm saying? But still, for 30 years, this little town existed right here, and it was a stop on the wagon train road. And the railroads, just right over there on the side of the hill. Anyways, semi-truck. Anyways, here's the marker, right? The crossroads is up there by the culvert. You see where it is, but they put the marker over here so that people can, see it from the highway. But here it is right here. Historic site. Historic wagon road. This monument marks a segment of an early road across northern Arizona following the 35th parallel transcontinental survey. The route evolved from several pathfinding expeditions. One was by Lieutenant Emil W. Whipple, 1853 to 1854 railroad survey. Remember we talked about that? Right? Okay, the second one was by Lieutenant Edward F. Beale, 1857 military experiment using camels for transport, and the wagon road constructed by Beale in 1858 to 1859. We talked about that one running over there, you understand, that comes this way. Right, headed, right? Okay, and then the last one is by Lieutenant Colonel Jose Francisco Chavez, escorted Arizona's first territorial governor, John Noble Goodwin, over this trail in 1864 to establish a capital in the Prescott vicinity. That's that way, west. And that way, west, and then a little bit south, once they get to Flagstaff. And then in 1876, the Mormon immigrants from Utah entered the Little Colorado Valley along this road. See, we talked about all that. See, this was donated by the Navajo County Historical Society and the Arizona Historical Society. Now, see, that's historic. See, I've been telling you the story. That's pretty historic stuff, right? But, unfortunately, in this day and age, some people have their own ideas about history. and they got to decorate it their own way. Yeah, well, that's the way it is. But you know, here, let's turn this around a little bit. Let's see. Now, Windsor obviously has a lot of history and a lot of historical stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? Hey, most of the little towns out here in Arizona, right, have a lot of historical significance to them. You gotta remember, Arizona was the last state in the continental United States. Arizona wasn't made a state until 1912, right? So, you know, so basically Arizona's only been a state for, you know, 114 years. When you think about it, you know what I'm saying? A lot of the 13 colonies, and hell, Texas was a state in 1850 something. You know, one of the very first, you know, states that they consider in the West, right? But yeah, we have a lot of historical stuff, a lot of cool stuff. You know what I'm saying? Come on out, visit us. This is us. History and all. This is me, Prime, standing out here in the desert by the interstate. Thank you.